trying to look like you winning, or look like you always be working. Soaking the moments you live in, yeah. You got the nerve to be on me, faking your life for the IG. If you got my number, don't add me, cause baby, I'm on hiatus.
Grown dating talk. I want to find out about people dating these days. How easy is it or how difficult is it? Let's see if we can get grown dating talk on here. Come on, come on. Grown dating talk. How many of you are out there are single right now and you are trying to date during a pandemic? I'm really interested in that answer right there. I'm going to bring that up to Barbara tonight.
Okay,
Hey.
you're pulling me up here today.
Huh?
Hey, I said you really pulled me up here today. I didn't expect to get pulled on panel.
It's all good. How you doing?
I'm doing good, and you? I'm definitely doing good, and you?
I am blessed. I'm here with you, and I'm here with a lot of amazing people. And your branding, you brand yourself just the right way. Boom, grown dating talk. It is simple as that. And
I'm trying to increase the followers.
You are increasing the followers
up there. You know, so Grown Dating Talk, that's my baby. I actually just started it this past October. It was an idea that came up in August after a failed engagement. So I thought back on all of my relationship experience over time. And I think like a lot of times people, when they have a lot of failed relationships or things don't work out, they become bitter. And I said, that's not the answer. I noticed that a lot of the issues that went on have to do with communication and lack of openness between the genders. So sometimes men come to the table and they're healed and not broken or wounded and they can communicate effectively, but they have a partner who cannot communicate effectively, or vice versa with women. So for me, Grown Dating Talk was a platform that I created so that men and women can sit down together and talk about vital topics and content, even in uncomfortable ways. That come up in dating that would normally make men and women fight or break up. So I said we can combat cancel culture by teaching the genders how to talk to each other and how to have these conversations in non-toxic ways, and also to help the youth who are in their 20s who are coming up, because in the environment I was born in the inner city in New York City in the Bronx. And a lot of relationships started out of friends with benefits or situationships, as they call them today. And that's not necessarily healthy. That's not healthy all the time. So when you have the youth growing up thinking that that's the way to formulate relationships, it's no wonder that we have a lot of bitter, heartbroken people out there with all kinds of trauma. So I said, you know what? And I can change that game by creating a platform where we can really call out the red flags and yellow flags that you see in dating and hold the genders accountable for talking about it in a real way.
So when you say you have this platform, does that mean that I go on there as just a stranger and I hear other people's views on these matters, or am I going on there with my lady, or I guess it could be a guy going on there with his significant other, whatever that means to be, and we ourselves are communicating about our instances right now? So is it which one is it?
So for season 1, it was myself and the co-host going on, calling out.
Oh, so it's a show.
Yeah, it's a show. It's a show. But the great thing about this show is we have ordinary, regular, degular, jugular, smugglers on there too. We have people who are coming up in the world, making a mark as entrepreneurs. We've also invited some famous faces on because we're filming season 2 right now, and that's set to launch at the end of February.
Well, where can we get it? Because you keep saying filming and airing. Where is this platform? Is it YouTube?
Oh, it's on YouTube. Yeah, okay. So it's on YouTube. So we're still up and coming. So we haven't hit the 1,000 viewership yet, but we're getting there. So it's still all good. And for season 2, season 1, we had 30-minute episodes. For season 2, I'm bringing on different types of couples, people who are relationship therapists, married people to offer advice, people who are single and dating, people who are in polyamorous relationships, people who are in monogamous relationships. Like, let's talk about it. So I want...
Well, I forgot. I remember somebody told me that meaning before. Polyamorous. What is that?
So that
listen,
means
my lingo is not that big. You know, I'm thinking about somebody wrapped up in plastic and getting freaky deaky. But polyamorous is not that. What is it?
No, polyamorous is where you have it's kind of like an open marriage to some. So it's a man or a woman that's together, and it could be, you know, women, or man. But most of the situations I know of are men and women who are in a relationship, but the man is allowed to have girlfriends and the woman is allowed to have boyfriends. And they just need to have an agreement, like, this is who I'm going to be talking to, this is who I'm going to be talking to. And then they say to that person, but this is my husband and this is my wife. So, you know, I'm not into polyamory, but there are people out there who are with that, and I respect that if that's what they're into. But I'm going to have an episode soon coming up for season 2 where we get polyamorous and monogamous couples out to talk about this.
Ooh, we could be here for so long.
I know.
All right, so how could people? I guess their marriage has to be. They have to say their vows and understand their vows. I guess, right? So they're being married, hopefully under someone that is greater, a being that is greater, but they're allowing people to physically share their bodies with other people. You're saying, right?
Yeah.
That one's really fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I
how
do that, but you know. But I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, you know, listen. A lot of people will say that monogamous for the male, excuse me, is a very Western culture type of thing. I mean, we've heard it all, right? We've heard that that men can reproduce every hour and the female can reproduce every 9 months, and that's the purpose, or that mostly every species there is a bull and a bunch of cows. There is one lion and a bunch of lionesses, and we are not built like that. It's only Western. And the other side, people will say, well, no. If you look at the Muslim culture or many other cultures, it was the men that went to war had a lot died. There was a lot of shortage of men. So if they were going to take on many wives, they were supposed to take them on and care for them all like they, you know, it wasn't about going down this hole.
No, you're not, but it's great because even to piggyback on that, think about Africa. A lot of people say there are more women than men in Africa. So they think about it like when they think about it statistically, there's like 8 women to every 1 man in Africa. So that's why they practice polygamy there, not necessarily polyamorous, but polygamy. So because of that ratio. So I'm like,
you know, I want to make sure guys do understand this. Like you see it in the Mormons and stuff like that. Have you ever seen that show with the Mormons with those? It don't look like them dudes is having a good time. Like you can say it all you want, yo. I want a couple of women, but
the responsibility that comes with that, because you have to think about
it ain't fun.
What you buy one, you have to buy everybody. So if you decide you want 4 different women, that's fine. Can you buy shoes for all of them? Can you take all of them shopping? All of them that you have kids with, you need to buy all of the children things equally. When you buy the property might not be in your name. It might be in their name. So when you
sister wives, isn't it called sister wives? That's what
sister wives. So
I want to ask you another question. What are you seeing right now with people in COVID? Because one of my friends did say to me, or say to my wife, and this is a serious matter to the extent she said, all my friends are in COVID relationships. And a lot of my single friends are now suffering from substance abuse, depression, because everybody else is booed up.
Because, excuse my French, they got to deal with their own shit during COVID. Yeah. That's why. So their partner doesn't have to deal with them anymore.
I mean, listen, thank God I'm not single. I'm absolutely obsessed with my wife. And I think that after we get out of COVID, you're going to see either a large amount of divorces and or a large amount of babies.
Well, hopefully we'll get to have you guys on the show so you can tell us what that's like. You know, that'd be interesting.
Oh no, she
probably
watching that. She don't like that type of stuff. She allows me to do my thing. But what are people doing in COVID relationships? Are they? I mean, are they getting close? Are they just finding a couple of different people to say, yo, I got my COVID test, and then they just go out there and make ugly faces all night with each other and in different bunch of rooms? I mean, what do you find? I mean,
it's actually a compilation of both, because we just shot an episode called COVID Dating, which will come out in season 2. And what we found is that some people are having COVID tests and then shacking up. So they're like, let's quarantine together, which I think is kind of really out there because you don't know this person. This person could turn out to be a serial killer a few weeks later, if you put the butter knife in the wrong drawer. So, you don't put that lotion back in the basket, you never know what's going to happen. Some people but most people for COVID dating want tests done. They want a physical proximity of 6 feet still, but they're still more open and willing. And if the tests come back negative for both people, then they're willing to proceed with dating the same way it was before COVID. But they're sticking to one person instead of saying, well, these are 3 or 4 people who tested negative that I could be interested in. They're kind of doing a one-on-one thing. And if it doesn't work out, then they'll X that person out and then move on to show interest to another person, provided the testing comes back. So I kind of think they're treating COVID dating kind of like HIV testing before you get a tattoo.
Good. I got 2 more questions for you. I'm fascinated with this conversation.
Okay.
Do you think, from a male's perspective, because I'm going to get to the female stuff as well, do you think from a young man, because you were talking about young men and women, and you were saying friends with benefits was not, you weren't saying it was wrong, but you said, what were you explaining about friends with benefits, why that may not necessarily be good? Or maybe I put words in your mouth. I wasn't certain.
No, so what I was saying is when it comes to the friends with benefits idea, that's not a good way to start a relationship out, because when it's friends with benefits, it's purely lust focused. So what happens is this person has some things in common with you, but you're really getting together at the time when you need to scratch itches, so to say. And then you have these 2 people that are using their bodies to kind of, as my term, nicest way, jerk each other off. And I'm like, okay, so you're using a person in the place of, of XXX, XXX website, But once the lust dies down, what happens? There's no interest. So now I got with this guy out of a friends with benefits situation. But now if I want to talk about MLK, if I want to talk about the price of rice in China, if I want to know why is the stock market impacted by the presidential candidacy and things like that, this man can't engage me on that. You can engage me after 9 o'clock, but you can't engage my mind between 12 in the afternoon and 4 in the afternoon. And that is a problem. So I feel that when it comes to the friends with benefits portion, people have to be really careful for that. Because if you're going to do a friends with benefits, and this is just me, that might be, I would probably limit that to me being a very busy person who is high value, and I have a lot of projects, I have a lot of traveling, there's so much going on in my schedule that I have to make an arrangement with somebody whom I happen to have a lot of things in common with, and we don't have a lot of time. So maybe that's how we get down, and it could progress to a relationship. But the way people are normalizing this stuff out here nowadays, that's not a good thing. It's not leading to any relationships. It's leading to more drama and more broken people trying to take their addict baggage into the next relationship, if that answers it.
I mean, I guess you could look at it that way. I look at it as, what is the basic need? And again, this is going to be a women from Venus, men from Mars type of stuff. Because I look at it like, I don't want to even know how good your conversation is if that stanky ain't right. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I don't know. I look at when I was dating, not prior to my first wife, I looked at, and all the women that I tend to had become real serious about, I looked at it as I was dating. I was always open, the fact that I was dating.
Yes.
And because so what used to happen is if I was dating and a woman would say to me, I wouldn't ask if she's dating or not. I would say, I'm dating. And then after a couple of months or whatever the case is, and she would say, or hear or think that I was with somebody else, and she'd go, oh, listen, I know we got an open relationship. Or I'd be like, I told you I was dating, just because I didn't come back and go, listen, you should see what I had last night. Just because I didn't share that with you out of respect. Mm-hmm. But I did find that my relationship got more serious as I had, of course, a physical relationship with a woman. Mm-hmm. But then I also noticed that when I wanted to laugh, I called this person. When I wanted to cry, I called this person. When I wanted to do other stuff, I called this person. And that person became more of, okay, I know we already got the physical stuff out of the way that we're very compatible. Mm-hmm. But man, I like you so much more. And those became my real relationships. Those became the most valuable relationships I had. The ones that I had this expectation because they were smart, because they were funny, or because they were hardworking people. My anticipation of the relationship was here, and as reality set in,
it declined.
Like that.
Yeah, it went down. But do you think, and I want to ask you a counter question on this one, do you think that could be the fact that for men, showing love is like a physical thing? When you grow up, mom gives you food physically. She gives you these clothes that you like. She gives you these hugs and kisses. So love is shown in a physical way. Whereas when girls grow up, love is shown a little bit differently. It's shown in the rigid expectations that are put in. Carry yourself this way, dress this way, do this, do that, talk like this, don't be like that, offer these things to people. So it makes me wonder sometimes if that difference is the physical versus the non-physical between the genders, because women care about attention and affection. That's our love language. Men's love language
That's true,
is, did you give me that nanny? And are you bringing peace to this environment so I can go out and conquer the world without stress on my head? But I could be wrong.
Spot on, and I cannot tell you what a woman deems as love, but I can tell you what a man does, and we are physical beings, and we're lured physically. You see, when a woman wakes up, she puts on the makeup, puts on the beautiful, tight, alluring things, and/or the hair is alluring, whatever it is.
Yes.
And then you get mad at us when we go, wow, I really want to have sex with that person.
Yeah.
And you get mad at us when we do that. Guys, we get up, we look in the mirror. Every time I've looked in the mirror, I've looked like Denzel Washington or Tyson Beckford, and I just go outside like whatever,
like
belly hanging all out, not giving a shit. But the women, you batting their eyes or making themselves really beautiful. So when you look beautiful like that, what are we supposed to say? I can't wait to have a conversation with you. We're like, yo, I want to hump you, and why not? And listen, I sew clothing, right? And I know that a woman will never buy a pair of jeans unless her hiney looks amazing in it. I ain't never look at my damn hiney in my jeans. I ain't never look at my hiney in my jeans.
It's okay. Women will look at them. See, women are physical in certain realms. Women need that connection. They look for the deeper connection, which then turns them on. Men, that deep connection is, does she look good? And then if I can connect with you on the physical level, then I'll be interested to see who you are after the fact. And I think that's been the battle between the genders, because women want to be loved, not lusted after. And men are saying, but you're so lustful. You look so lusting good. Let me experience you and I'll tell you if I want to love you.
Well, I got one other area with social media. Is it that young men are too desensitized due to overabundance of available porn, social media, Instagrams, and all that stuff? So are they growing up not understanding how to respect the woman? Because I got 3 little girls. Which, obviously it's a big concern of mine. And are the women obviously
accepting
making it hard
and
to
dropping standards?
Because, if you are a young woman or a mature woman, and if every time you notice that you're into somebody, but yet they're always on Instagram or something else looking at people oiled up and all kinds of stuff like that, but you refuse to drop your standards, but you're realizing that this is where the person's eyes are going. Like, how do you find a mate? How do you find somebody of value with that? Or do you say, don't worry about all that. Trust me, we get to that point in our relationship, you're going to see all that, and it's going to be just for you, not for the people on social media. How do women compete in such a crazy time?
I think that it has to do with boundaries and standards, in all honesty. Because one thing I'll say, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm about to be 40 years old in the next, 7 days? And I carry myself with a lot of pride and self-respect. So I'm not afraid, and I know other women, and I advocate for women to not be afraid. It's not cancel culture. It's called not settling for the nonsense anymore, because women need to recognize that we are a part of the problem as to why we're dealing with a lot of the things that we're dealing with in the male gender today. It's not just their fault. This got accepted from somewhere. When Daddy was a Rolling Stone back in the day, Mamas was letting him lay his hat wherever he wanted to. He let them park that Cadillac wherever he wanted to. Before we had social media, daddy couldn't find other women to go and look at their booties and different things like that, because that wasn't happening on AOL. You weren't having that in the chat rooms and stuff.
Right.
But now that we have social media and technology being so prevalent, you have these issues. What I do is I'm not scared to walk away. I'm not scared to put a little distance, because at the end of the day, when you're coming home to me as a man, I can be 23 different women throughout the year. I can put a wig on, I can put lashes on, I can take on a different vernacular, any kind of thing to keep you interested. But if you really want to be out there and you're not done with your whole phase, because women and men go through whole phases and they need to accept that and admit that and be accountable for that. Everybody does. But if you're not done with your whole phase, then I'm going to stay over here. I want you to find happiness in whatever you want. And if life leads us back together later, then that's what it is. But if it doesn't and you decide to come back and the next man is here that wanted to take me seriously, fill in that spot, then I hope you can use me as a measure to find the next woman out there who has the traits in that you wanted, so you can keep pushing forward. But if you want to lose a good thing, that's on you. So I think it has to do with boundaries, because what boundaries one man won't accept, the next man that's right will snatch that up. And when you don't have boundaries, you make yourself a victim for these low vibrational people out here who go, she doesn't have a sense of self. Yeah, let me get her because she can be my side chick. She could be wifey jump off 2.0. No, I don't want to do that.
Strong words. I reflect as I have this conversation with you, that my mother always has and always will. She carries herself like a lady. My ex-wife carries herself like a woman, a lady, a classy lady. My wife and my daughters all do. I am fortunate enough, and I don't know why God has blessed me with that, because the most frustrating thing probably to see is that you love your children and they don't love themselves or value themselves. So that's really amazing. What else was I going to say? This is a fascinating conversation. It really is amazing. And I think you said it spot on. Like my buddy Champ would say, when he was dating, he'd be like, some of the women were younger. He'd be like, man, I'm getting filled up off all this junk food. I'm like, what do you mean junk food? He'd be like, that was a quick snack. I got a belly filled full of gummy bears. I need some soul food around here. I need some protein. He said, oh, that shit is junk food. So don't be junk food. You can be junk food if you want. You can always have a snack here and there. But unless you want to be junk food and you getting through your, what you call your whole phase.
Yep, your whole phase.
Don't be junk food. Don't be somebody's junk food. And don't get full off of junk food. You can't have Cheetos for dinner.
Thank you. I'm a filet mignon. I'm a porterhouse steak, and I have to be cooked the right way. So you want to enjoy this filet mignon, you want to enjoy this porterhouse steak, then you come to the right restaurant, or you pick up the meat and you season it well. That's exactly what you got to do. But you're not going to walk into McDonald's and find me. You're not going to walk into Popeyes and find me, and I'm fine with that.
Excellent. So where can we find the show? Your name, because I don't have it on here now. What's the name of your Instagram?
Grown Dating Talk. So we're on Instagram at Grown Dating Talk, and we are on YouTube for Grown Dating Talk. And I am Alona V. I'm the host of the show. So people normally know me with my lashes and stuff, but it's a Monday, so I haven't got done up yet. But
that's right. You're working. You working. You paying attention to the more important things. I appreciate that.
There you go.
Thank you so much for the interesting dialogue. I hope that even if we change one person's perception or change their life a little bit and they find love, I hope that happens. So I appreciate
hope so too. And thank you for taking the time to talk to me. And I hope to have you on the show soon. So
all right, thank you.
Okay, bye guys. Tune into Grown Dating Talk on YouTube. You'll love it. Okay, bye.
There you have it. She really pleasant surprise to know, a lot of people out there are dealing with challenging situations, and you don't want to get into a different relationship where it's not helping you during these times. But also, people are free to date and discover themselves. So fascinating conversation. I definitely will be checking her out.
Hey, guys. I know you just saw the footage of me talking with Daymond John of Shark Tank. So I'm so happy. And I'm so proud because I've come a long way. I've come a long way. This podcast has come a long way in a little over 3 months time now, 3 months time, because the first episode dropped back in October. And I'm just really, really proud of myself because for a single woman with 3 kids, I've come very, very far. I've been through a lot in life. I've been through the trenches. And Grown Dating Talk is a podcast where women and men can sit down and talk about their different perspectives, their different mindsets, their different views and beliefs on dating, relationships, and love. It's also a platform where the genders can get called out on their tomfoolery and have to answer to that tomfoolery, and in healthy, non-toxic ways. So Grown Dating Talk is my baby because being a woman who came up in a lot of domestic violence relationships and situations, I encountered a lot of hurt. Instead of allowing that hurt to make me bitter, I chose to create a platform and make it better. Make it better to communicate to women and men that, you know what, I get what you're going through out there. I understand it. And we're going to put a stop to it. We're going to put an end to it. We're going to get you the answers that you want on why men do some of the shit they do and why women think it's okay to do some of the tomfoolery that they do. Because at the end of the day, it's not okay. And both genders need to be heard. We have too many women and men out there, especially young ones, because they're modeling this after the older men and women that they see, sitting over here participating in toxic relationships. They're sitting over here and implementing toxic behaviors. They are taking toxic approaches to things. Even the communication is toxic. It's to the point now that the genders are trying to one-up each other. Guess what? One up each other is not going to get yourself the love that you want. One up that man is not going to make him treat you the way you want him to be treated. It's not going to make him value you. And guess what, guys? One up her and trying to teach her a lesson, it's not going to get you the partner you want. She's not going to be the loving, friendly individual who's happy to see you and smiling and laughing all the time. It's just not going to hurt her when you guys are sitting over there entering the boxing ring trying to one-up each other. That's not what dating is. That's not what love is. And a lot of times, a lot of us have seen the badness that's going on. And let's face it, we've put up with some of this negativity. We put up with some of this negativity in order to not be alone. We've put up with some of this negativity because we blamed ourselves and thought that something was wrong inside ourselves and felt like we were not worthy. So therefore, we compromised our values and our worth in order to be with another. Well, Grown Dating Talk is a platform that says, nah, B, that stuff stops. That stuff stops right now. It stops here. It stops with you. You understand? Because you don't have to participate in the tomfoolery. You do not have to reproduce it. You don't have to reciprocate it. You don't even have to live it. You don't have to breathe it. You can choose to have morals and standards and say, hey, I understand that there's craziness out there, but you know what? I'm past craziness. I'm no longer on level 1. I'm no longer dealing with level 1 lustful, toxic desires and behaviors and attitudes and mindsets. No, I'm leveling up. I want level 4. And guess what? If you out there wanting level 4 love and level 4 relationships and level 4 peace and happiness, but you're vibrating on a level 1, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it because people are going to look at how you're conducting yourself and they're not going to want to deal with you. The only ones who are going to want to deal with you and take a chance on you is the people who are operating in that level 1 vibration. Because you know what? They see you broken. They see you burnt. They see you unhealed. And they're like, yeah, I want her and him. I want her because she could be my side chick. I can put her down when I'm not feeling good. And that'll make me feel better about myself. I can tell her that she ain't shit. And then I can walk out feeling like the man, feeling like I'm shit because I told her about herself. Guess what, fellas? The same thing goes for you. When you're dealing with them level 1 women, they're going to tear you apart to pieces. They're going to use you for your money. They're going to use you for your time. They're going to use you for your resources. They're going to sit over here and talk crazy to you. They're going to talk down to you. They're not going to value you as a man. They're not going to sit over here and honor what you bring to the table. They're not going to honor your resources. They're not going to honor your time. They're not going to honor your love. But you know who will? You know who will? When you increase your vibration and you start acting better, then you're going to get your level 4 women. You're going to get your level 4 women, the ones who are tired of the game. They done seen it all. They done it all. And guess what? They don't want to participate in that pool. They don't want to swim in that ocean anymore. So they've decided to develop a set of boundaries and hold themselves in higher light. And in return, wait for the partner who is deserving of them. They want to wait for the man who wants to have the patience, who wants to have conversation. Ladies too, you know, You guys need to, the men need to wait for the women who want to have conversations, who want to talk about things, who want to give hugs and kisses, who want to say, you know what, I didn't like when you did such and such, but I want to understand, what were you thinking when you did that? And I want to make you aware of the impact that it had on me. And then they want to sit down with you and come to a compromise, come to a non-toxic understanding. Because at that point, now you got a winner. You have a person that you can build with. You have a person that you can win with. You have a person that you can trust. And at the end of the day, we're grown. The purpose of Grown Dating Talk is for grown people to talk about the things that are bothering them when it comes to dating and relationships. Hell, even marriage, because marriage is a relationship and you still have to date within your marriage. Because if you don't date within your marriage, trust and believe, it will fall apart. It will become rocky and it can become toxic. So Grown Dating Talk provides the platform to raise the gender's vibrations, to give you guys a platform to come and speak and say, hey, I'm not with this. I don't understand why women or men think that this is okay, and I want answers. Well, Grown Dating Talk, we want to give you answers, okay? We're not your Dr. Phil. We're not your Oprah Winfrey show, but we are a show where the genders can come together and talk about these red flags and yellow flags that are being seen. You can safely call it out, and we can have conversations in ways that are comfortable for us. And we also can model to the masses out there on how to have these uncomfortable conversations in non-toxic ways. Because there are too many young women and men out here looking at the way that the adults are behaving, and it's shaping the way that they treat each other. You know I'm right. You know I'm right. So with that said, Grown Dating Talk has been so phenomenal for me, season 1, because I stepped into a world that I was not familiar with. I had never done a podcast before in my life. Hell, the reason for the podcast was because of broken relationship. I've been there like many of us have. You try to make it work. You try to make it work. You try to give the person chance after chance, time after time, and you love them. And then you recognize that they're just not ready. They're just not ready for the level of a relationship that you're ready for. And it's okay. It's okay. It can hurt, but it's okay. You don't have to be bitter. You don't have to sugar his tank. You don't have to slash his tires. You don't have to bust his windows out. You don't even have to send him 3 chapters explaining how you feel. All you need to do is gather yourself together and recognize that, hey, this falling apart was the result of 2 individuals not being able to get on the same page. And if you recognize that that person doesn't value you, you can pull back. You can pull back. You don't have to be negative with it. I chose to pull back, and I said, you know what? I've noticed that I've been through a lot in relationships. And instead of sitting here crying about it or feeling bitter, because that's not going to do anything for me. Hell, that's not going to do anything for my kids. That's not going to do anything for my friends who love me and care for me so much that they want to see me do good. They're rooting for me. I said, you know what would do good for me? What would be therapeutic? To start this podcast and help others, to help other women out there like me, to help other men out there like me who are going through the trenches, and you want love so bad. You want it so bad, but you're sick and tired of compromising yourself and your values and your boundaries for it. You see the tomfoolery and you're like, you know what? I'm too old for this shit. I'm not dealing with this. This is crazy, And also to give you guys a safe space to come and express how you feel. Because let's be for real. Too many times in relationships, there's things that we say to our partner and it goes right over their head. They don't give a damn about it. They don't care about it until you've left them. You got nothing to say to them anymore, and you've moved forward, and then you're happy somewhere else. And now that person wants to come back and talk. After you done spent how much money on therapy, probably sat there for fucking hours and weeks and months on end, pissing your friends off because they're tired of hearing about her ass or his ass. So, got to be really careful with that. But anyway, I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do different. I'm going to do better. I'm not going to do the people how they did me when I was in relationships with them. Nah. I'm going to take my hurt and I'm going to take it, I'm going to flip it into wisdom and knowledge, and I'm going to help other people with it, because I know there are other people out there who can identify with what I have to say. I know there are other people out there who can identify with the perspectives that the genders bring to our platform when we talk about so many different issues. Just over season 1 alone, I've gotten many emails. I've seen people put comments below the YouTube videos, and people have even been putting comments and DMing on the Instagram page for Grown Dating Talk. And I want to say to you guys that I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. And I thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to give feedback and constructive criticism and share your experiences and your perspectives, because you know what? It matters and they matter. And I feel good because a little girl from the ghetto who grew up on welfare and food stamps, who worked really hard in life to put myself ahead, I achieved the status of being able to start my own podcast in an industry that I knew nothing about, launch that shit, and be able to sit up there and take IG Live stage and talk with Daymond John. That to me was astounding. I look up to that man ever since I was a kid. All of us know him. He's the owner of FUBU. Come on, who wasn't rocking FUBU back in the day? FUBU jeans, when crisscross was out, you had them on backwards, okay? He was like, the Mac Dad'll make you jump, and you had your FUBUs on while you were jumping, okay? So to me, it's a blessing as a Black woman, a biracial woman, to be able to speak to a Black mogul. You understand me? A Black mogul who understands what it is to come up in the trenches, to build from damn near nothing, who understands what it is to fail and have setbacks, and he still persevered and he still kept on going. And you know what? That's what I'm doing. Despite the fact of the setbacks that I've had relationally, I'm still persevering and I'm going to still keep on going. And I'm going to be the voice for the people. I'm the voice for the men and the women out there who are sick of the shits. Y'all are tired of the tomfoolery. They're tired of the fuckery, and they want to see changes. They want people to understand that I don't think like this, I don't act like this, and I don't accept this, but I see what you're doing. And I want to encourage you guys, instead of going about addressing things in toxic ways, nah. I want you guys to go about addressing it with couth and class. You understand me? And Grown Dating Talk allows you the opportunity to do that. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed season 1, as me and Sila have gone on and presented so many different perspectives and viewpoints of the genders. Hell, we argued at certain times with each other. Things got thicker than a slice of cake in there on some of those topics. But at the end of the day, what we showed you guys is that a man and a woman can sit down and have an honest conversation and do it in a non-toxic way. Also, we were able to bring guests on panel, and those guests were able to share their perspectives and viewpoints and experiences. Now, some of them may not have been specialists in the field, but at the end of the day, when it comes to dating and relationships, you don't have to be a specialist to speak on what you've gone through. And I need you guys to understand that, because some people have said things like, well, I would like to see a specialist on panel. Well, you might. But at the end of the day, each one of us are specialists in our own experiences. If you're a woman and you've been mishandled by men a lot of times, you have every right to have an opinion and a perspective on what's going on and what type of tomfoolery has disappointed you and hurt you and how it's affected you. And the fact that you want answers. There's nothing wrong with that. And guess what, men? If you found that in every relationship you've been in, you're not being heard, you're not being listened to, you're being manipulated, and then you're being painted in a negative light that does not represent who you are and what you were trying to accomplish with that woman, then you do have a right to be heard too. Why do you have to just sit there and listen to what women have to say about men on TV and radio shows all day? No. You might want answers too, because maybe you can't get the answers from your girlfriend. Maybe you couldn't get the answers from your wife. Hell, maybe you couldn't even get the answers from the women you were dating. And let's be frank, because if they're playing the games, they're not going to give you the honest answers on the games. But you know what? Grown Dating Talk, we will. We will always be around to give you the honest answers on the games. So what I want you guys to do is to take a second and look back on a lot of our memories from season 1. Because as season 1 comes to a close this evening, which I'm really, really sad, because I really enjoyed season 1. I enjoyed filming it, and I enjoyed all of the wonderful topics that we spoke on in season 1 and shedding some light on the genders and their buffoonery, But I want you to take some time and look at the pictures and the memories from season 1 as we bid adieu to you guys. But also understand that season 2 is going to drop in 3 short weeks, and we want you guys to join us for that. So be sure to check out and follow Grown Dating Talk on Instagram. Go on YouTube and hit subscribe. And also let us know in the comments below just how much you've enjoyed season 1, how much you've enjoyed the topics. And for those naysayers and haters, keep your hate to yourself. It's not welcome. It's not welcome here. We don't care for it, because at the end of the day, this platform is for people who want to keep it real. This platform is for people who want to share their experiences and get honest answers to what the hell is going on in the world of dating for adults. And this platform is for those 20-some-year-olds who know they're lost because you saw the wrong stuff growing up, but you want to be on the right track because you want healthy love. You want healthy relationships. You want healthy friendships. We're here for you. Alona V is here for you. So with that, I say that I'm so happy to be that humble little girl from the ghetto who grew through the trenches, who put herself through school, who has an honest job, and who also is now a business owner because she hustles. And she also sits over here and put a podcast out in a therapeutic way to reach women and men and help you guys, to help your voices be heard and to voice your opinions on the tomfoolery and buffoonery that's going on out here, so I can get you the answers that you so desperately need. So take a few seconds, look back on the memories with us, enjoy the music and stuff, and be sure to join us in 3 short weeks for season 2 of Grown Dating Talk. I'm your host, Alona V. I hope to see you in 3 weeks for all things grown and mature.